Hi, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Know Your Rights presentation presented by the UFW Foundation. Just a quick housekeeping items before we go ahead and get started. If you have any questions throughout the presentation, please use the chat feature at the bottom of your screen. We will be answering all of your questions towards the end of the presentation. A recording of this presentation will also be made available within 24 hours, and it will be emailed out to you through the email that you provided upon registration. So I now like to turn it over to Sophia from the UFW Foundation to get us started.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. This presentation, we plan to be in person. However, as you know, we're taking protective measures as many other people due to COVID-19. And we're happy that we're still able to meet you, at least in this virtual forum. This presentation, this Know Your Rights presentation with the focus on the Community College Initiative will be hosted by the UFW Foundation. There'll be 3 presenters, myself, our acting attorney, Sofia Corona, for the Community College Project. Sara Lugo is one of our regional directors in the Fresno region. And Linda Duran is one of our lead outreach coordinators in the Fresno region as well. Just wanted to remind folks that the UFW Foundation, or introduce you to us, we've been around for several decades. However, we were re-established in 2008. We're an advocacy and organizing group, as well as legal services organization. We do have a huge emphasis on immigration services given the demand of the communities we serve. We are an organization recognized by the Department of Justice and our staff by Board of Immigration advocates, representatives, and attorneys. During this presentation, you will learn 3 main things, as well as some important updates. What you need to know and what you should do if you encounter immigration officials, the police, or the FBI. 2, what information you should have on hand at all times. And 3, how to respond to questioning by immigration officials or the police. In summary, what are your rights? And like I said, some important updates on public charge. There's been quite a bit of misinformation in the community about this, as well as about the new program that's providing immigration services for all California community college students, faculty, and staff. And with that, I will turn it over to Linda.
Hi, good morning, everyone. So who has rights? ¿Quién tiene derechos? We will learn that every human being, no matter race or color, has rights, and everyone should know how and when to use your rights. You have legal rights, regardless of your immigration status. To protect yourself, you need to understand your rights. Everyone who lives in the United States has legal rights. Our legal rights are in the U.S. Constitution document that protect us from bad or unfair treatment by law enforcement or the government. To protect yourself, we need to learn about our rights. Key agencies. The Department of Homeland Security, which is DHS. DHS houses 3 key immigration agencies, which is USCIS, CBP, and ICE. USCIS handles all affirmative applications such as DACA renewals, naturalization applications, and family petitions. Now, CBP, which is main enforcement agency at our borders, including airports, they are the ones making sure that no one is bringing illegal substance to our country. And now ICE, which is the main enforcement agency in the interior of the country, and well, as many of us, we know ICE as La Migra, they are a federal police agency, and sadly, they use the word police on their clothing, which confuses people with local police. So we learned 2 immigration enforcement agencies, which is ICE and CBP. Who can ICE or CBP arrest? ICE and CBP can arrest any person who is not a citizen. CBP has the same authority as the country's borders. And both agencies have been mistakenly also detained United States citizens. What can I do to protect myself? We are going to learn what to do if ICE comes to my home. If ICE comes to my home, there are only two ways they are allowed to enter: with a valid judge's order or with your permission. Do not open the door. It is your right to protect yourself and your family. As for identification, officers may try to trick us or frighten us or intimidate you to get into your home. Look through a window to see their identification. Do not be caught off guard and open the door. Ask the officials if they have a warrant, and do not be afraid to stand your ground and ask them, "Officer, can you please slide it under my door or show it through my window?" If the officials do not have a warrant, they do not have the right to enter your home. This is what the judicial order may look like. On the top, you will see it is sent by the court. It has a date, and at the bottom, it does have the signature of the judge. Now, this is an immigration order. We have to be very aware that this is an ICE administrative warrant. Note that it is signed by an ICE agent. Any ICE agent can sign this. This document does not give ICE the authority to, number one, arrest the person named in the warrant, or number two, as long as the officer locates the person in a public location. For example, the person is walking down a public sidewalk, but this document does not give an officer the authority to enter a home or homeless shelter without permission. It is not a judicial order. Next slide, please. Deportation order. A warrant of removal or deportation, an immigration warrant, does not give an officer the right to enter your home. You can say, "You do not have the right to enter my home, officer, with this warrant. Please leave," and remain calm and remember that you have rights. Now we will learn what to do if we encounter a police officer or ICE in the street or in a public area. On the street or in a public area. In general, an officer needs a warrant to arrest you. In some situations, you could be arrested in the office if the officer has evidence that you do not have legal status or if you have committed a crime. But if you are in a public area and ICE or the police officer is questioning you and you know you have not committed a crime or any act of violence, you are entitled to ask the officer, "Officer, am I free to go? Have I committed a crime?" If the answer was no, then remain silent and please remember to walk away calmly and do not run. Now we will learn what to do at a workplace. There are two ways of entering a workplace: by a valid judge's order or with permission of your employer. To enter your workplace, immigration officers or the police, they need either, number one, a valid warrant, or number two, the permission of your employer. Do not run. If you run, it may lead to you being arrested or detained. A warrant does not mean that you have to answer any questions. If immigration officers or the police are questioning you and you wish to remain silent, say it out loud that you wish to remain silent, or show the officials that you know your rights and hand them your red card. This is what Sophia was stating to all of us at the beginning of the presentation. It is very important for us to hold red cards with us at all times and pass them out in the community. Next slide, please. Now we will learn what to do if we are arrested and we are detained. In police custody, you have the right to remain silent. You have the right to make a phone call, and you do have the right to ask to speak to a lawyer. What we need to know is arrest charges and convictions can affect your immigration status. If you are at risk for deportation, you should avoid contact with the police. You have the right to remain silent. Being arrested or detained by the police does not mean that you have to answer any questions until you have your lawyer present. You should not discuss any immigration information with anyone inside the jail, and you have the right to refuse to sign any documents before you speak to your lawyer. Next slide. And lastly, we will learn what to do when we are in a car or in a bus. The same rights apply. You have the right to remain silent, show the officer your driver license and registration, show proof of insurance if the officer asks you, and stay calm. Do not run away. If you have not committed a crime, ask the officer, "Officer, am I free to go?" And pay close attention to this. People think that they need to give the officer permission to search their car. This is not true. You can refuse this order. What are my rights if I am detained? ¿Cuáles son mis derechos si soy detenido? Your rights apply, and all these rights are in the red card, la tarjeta roja. We use this red card a lot in the community to make sure that our community is aware and they read it. It's in English and Spanish, and it states the following. You have the right to remain silent. You do not need to answer questions about how you came to this country. Show them your red card. And if you are at home, you can also slide the red card under your door or show it through the window. Never give false or misleading information.
Thank you, Linda.
You're welcome.
I will now. What are my rights if I am taken to a detention center? In the detention center, many of your rights continue in play. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to make a phone call. Additionally, though, you have the right to call your consulate. You have the right to speak to an attorney or accredited representative. You have the right to refuse to sign anything before speaking to your attorney or a BIA accredited representative. Do not discuss your case with someone who is not an attorney or BIA representative. Many times people assume this means immigration officials, which is imperative, but it is also important not to discuss it with other inmates or friends freely. It is a known fact that sadly, ICE officers do to other people to get information on other inmates. It's also very easily to be confused and become scared in that situation. And you trying to figure out your own case without speaking to an attorney or a representative really can do significant damage. Also, another known reality is that in detention centers, calls are monitored. So be very careful of what you say over the phone until, again, you have established contact with an attorney or representative. Do not sign any document. This is a very, very important right that folks need to be aware of and enforce. Officers will try to get you to sign things. They will try to tell you that it is administrative. They will try to tell you that it is only to secure your identity, etc. However, many times it is waiving significant rights. You may be waiving your right to see a judge. You may be waiving your right to have a right to defend yourself at all, and might be summarily reporting yourself. And additionally, you might not be aware of what other additional rights you might be waiving. For example, you might have a way to fight to stay in this country, but again, you would have maybe given that up just by not waiting to sign a document before speaking to an attorney representative. And we do know that tactics are used. There's been lawsuits about this, and we just want to really empower folks that even in that type of scary situation where they're being threatened to be locked up indefinitely or to be separated from family, etc., please do not waive your rights until an attorney or a representative can help you. What type of documents should you carry? There are some documents that are very important, necessary for a person that has status. If you have some type of status, whether it be a temporary type of status like TPS, or which is temporary protective status, or you are a lawful permanent resident, it is actually part of your duties that you carry that identification that proves that status with you at all times. It is also, you are also required to show it to any officer should they ask you for it. However, do not carry documents from another country. So if you are undocumented and you have no other ID, do not carry like a consulate card or a passport from another country or a birth certificate, because unfortunately these can be used against you should you be arrested as proof of what they call, quote, your alienage, that you are part of another, that you are a resident and a national of another country. So be very wary of that. You can have these documents saved somewhere secure in your home and let family know where those are. So that could be shared with an attorney or a BIA accredited rep in case of emergency, but having them on your person can be very dangerous. The California's AB 16 licenses. In California, drivers must show their driver's license in a traffic stop. If you are the driver or you are in vicinity of being able to control the wheel, an officer can ask you for your driver's license. That is completely within reason, and you should comply. This is why advocates are urging people in California to get the AB 60 license. It serves as an identification and also helps people stay in with California and not get convictions for driving without a license. However, there is something to be aware of. Unfortunately, AB 60 licenses do say federal limits apply. This is something that advocates hard, but it was an ultimate compromise to get the licenses issued here. So be aware that unfortunately it could give a federal agent probable cause that you are not a citizen. However, and all your other rights would apply. An attorney could fight and very successfully fight a deportation proceeding or even an arrest by quickly intervening because you have not said anything else, you're not carrying any other documents. Basically, you have made it hard for immigration officials to prove that you are not a citizen of this country. So this license on its own is not a definitive end to your case. However, again, not carrying it could bring other risk of contact, right? You could be arrested, your car could be impounded, and all that increased contact with local police officials open the door to contact immigration. Also, in many local counties, advocates have fought hard to end collaboration between ICE officials and local police and sheriffs. So there is a lot more protection than there existed years ago. And in California, it's increasingly becoming harder for ICE to collaborate with local police officials. So it's preferred that people that can obtain AB 60 licenses versus not. Additionally, DUIs are a major problem increasingly in the immigrant community. Unfortunately, in the criminal justice system, there's very minimal consequences. And I say that it's unfortunate because it sends the wrong message to immigrants saying, you know, this is a minor offense, basically no big deal. You pay some fine, you know, you're arrested if at all for a day or two. However, on the immigration side, it has increasingly very disproportionate heavy consequences. It can really close the doors on forms of relief that were readily available in the past. And even lead to increased contact, which again, could be the whole reason you end up being detained or in deportation proceedings. So please, please, you know, nowadays you can use Uber, Lyft, stay over at friend's house. There's so many other ways to avoid drinking. And so it is imperative that we do that and we pass that message to our family and loved ones. So Sara will take it over the public charge section.
Yes, good morning. Thank you, Sophia and Linda, for all that great information. Today, I will be discussing a very popular topic within these last few months. It's a topic that brings a lot of worry to many of our families in the community. So we wanted to really make sure and provide this information so that everyone on here is aware, and even though we might not have so many individuals on this call, but each individual who's obtaining this information can pass it on to their families, their loved ones. So that is the hope for today, that all the knowledge you're receiving, you're sharing it and you're spreading the word, because it's great information that we're sharing today. So public charge, what is public charge? Public charge for immigration purposes is a term used for applicants whom the government determines are most likely to become dependent on the government, on government assistance. And then public charge is one of several possible ways that the government can deny an intending immigrant their application for admission to the United States or adjustment of status, and also known as them obtaining their lawful permanent residency in the United States. Next slide, please. So who is impacted by public charge? The reality is that the impact of public charge to individuals is that it doesn't impact as many individuals as one might believe. So public charge is only considered in two circumstances. One being when an immigrant is applying for admission into the United States through consular process, and two, when an intending immigrant is applying for adjustment of status while in the United States. So it's only in those two circumstances when the government can apply the public charge rule. So again, it doesn't impact as many individuals as sometimes it's laid out to seem. So if we can go to the next slide, please. So to continue the impact of public charge, so receiving public benefits alone does not automatically make an individual likely to become a public charge. There are several other factors that the government must consider before denying an individual their lawful permanent residency on the public charge. So very important to understand that just because an individual has in the past received a public benefit doesn't automatically disqualify them. Another very important detail is that most of the public benefits that would deem an individual a public charge do have a lawful status requirement. Therefore, most immigrants would not even be eligible to receive such benefits. So that is something very important to keep in mind, that most of these benefits are out of reach to these intending immigrants. And also, a big one is, one that we get a lot of questions for is, if my children who are US citizens or spouses receive the benefit, will it affect me as an intending immigrant? And that's another thing to keep in mind, that the only way it's going to affect is that if the intending immigrant is receiving those benefits, not if their US citizen children are receiving it or their spouses, anybody who is eligible for such benefits. So very important to keep that in mind as well.
Sada, if I could also just jump in for a quick point.
Yes,
given how little, in terms of the big number, right, of the immigrant community, how this is actually truly affecting people, right, the actual rule. And the fact that right now we are in a public health crisis, right? For this reason, advocates are urging people to use public benefits that might be available to them or their loved ones, right? Especially right now that many folks sadly are losing their means of income or are having to deal with medical costs. Again, the cost is marginal, and I know you're going to go into it a little bit more as to the calculus. An attorney can always help you later, but should your family be in dire straits in terms of food or health, it is much more important that you address, because again, who this rule is actually affecting is super marginal.
Yes, absolutely. And we always encourage individuals not to make any drastic decisions without first consulting with an accredited representative or an attorney who can provide that more in-depth look into their particular cases before any of these drastic decisions are made, that can impact greatly the health and well-being of the families. So always have that legal consultation first.
Correct. Thank you, Sada. So for that reason, in the community, please do not cancel benefits, exactly out of panic or fear, especially with the rhetoric that is being employed in kind of the general media and by the administration. Unfortunately, there is insight that part of this public charge change was entirely so that folks would be scared, right? And that the target was the general immigrant community. So be very wary of that and definitely speak with a representative.
Yes. We can go on to the next slide. So I had mentioned just a short while ago that the government must consider several factors before deciding whether an individual will become a public charge. So that's called the totality of the circumstances. So the government needs to analyze the total case. So here you will see several factors that the government must consider. So one being the age of the individual, another health of the individual, the status of the family, assets and resources that the family immigrant might have, as well as the financial status of the individual, and education and skills. So it has to be a balance between all these different factors. So they look at if the individual is within an age that they're still able to work, to be healthy. They also look at the education and skills that the individual may have. Individuals might be working to pursue higher education, which is a great positive factor for cases, any special skills that they may have. So it's, again, I repeat it, just the fact that they receive that public benefit doesn't automatically disqualify them. The government must consider several different factors before they make their decision. And again, the importance of the immigration consultations is for an expert to analyze everything and see if the individuals have strong cases, if they have strong factors in their case to be successful at the end. Next slide, please. And then I also want to give some information on who's not impacted by public charge. I stated that it's a handful of immigrants who are impacted by it, but then there's a large group of folks who are not impacted by it. Some are lawful permanent residents, also known as LPRs, who are applying for naturalization. Also, lawful permanent residents whose document has expired or will be expiring and they want to renew that document. Public charge is also not a factor in that. Also, individuals for applying for T and U non-immigrant status, those individuals are also not affected by public charge, as well as refugee, asylees, applying asylum seekers, VAWA self-petitioners, special immigrant juveniles, DACA applicants, TPS applicants. So there's a large group of folks who public charge does not impact. And a lot of the times, sometimes the news, the media frightens individuals. So we always recommend get the information. Education is what is it? Knowledge, you know. Let's educate ourselves in terms of this this topic and really see who is it affecting, who is it not affecting. That way, individuals can go with that peace of mind and not make these drastic decisions before terminating benefits and whatnot. So this is a group of individuals who would not be affected by public charge, and there are several others who fall within this category as well.
So thank you, Sarah. Before we segue into the immigration services program, I did want to point out two things as part of the Know Your Rights portion. One thing that is very is do not show any false documents or outright lie to any official. This is super imperative. The big key is to stay silent. As long as you stay silent, an attorney can fight things. Once you lie, or the government can accuse you of lying, unfortunately, there are some pretty severe consequences that apply that could close the door on forms of relief or defenses that your attorney or your BIA accredited representative would have had available. And I understand in moments of panic, people might be trying to reason with an officer or might think, well, if I just say I'm a citizen, especially for folks who are been here since children, can maybe, speak fluent English and think, well, I'll just quote unquote pass. Again, the risk is significant. And the best thing is just to stay quiet. If you stay silent, things can be hashed out later in court. Or even in negotiation by your representative. So one of the main, part of this Know Your Right presentation is to inform community members of their rights with a focus on folks who are not citizens and who are a target of enforcement, especially, it's been active since the mid-90s, but unfortunately, increase during the Obama administration that has now during the Trump administration been taken to new heights, right? Unfortunately, we've lost a lot of protections, and currently even DACA is on the potential chopping block, right? And it's something that we're urging the community for folks that are eligible to renew, to continue to renew, to maintain the protections that we do have, knowing that advocates are going to continue to fight tooth and nail for those few protections that remain to not be lost and to gain new ground again. So please adhere to the that apply to you, although we are very aware of how tough the climate has been to enforcement. Because of this new climate, though, luckily in California, there has been a new wave of advocacy, right, and a new wave of programming and regulation to protect California residents. And I'm glad to now, the UFW Foundation, to be part of one of those latest initiatives, which is the Community Colleges Immigration Services Initiative. This is a statewide initiative to provide free immigration services to all community college students, faculty, and staff. There is no additional eligibility or requirement as long as you are part of a California community college. And this includes students who are taking non-accredited courses, right? So you could be enrolled in a class to learn for just one specific class or unit or a trade. It does not matter. If you are an enrolled student, are eligible. Same goes for staff, right? It includes all staff, not just, for example, faculty with a certain tenure or a certain contract. It includes all staff on the campus. The UFW Foundation is one of the providers, and we do have 4 regional offices spread out throughout the state. We do focus rural communities. Our focus was farm worker communities, and still continues to be one of our main areas. However, we have expanded to include more of our rural communities and understanding the diverse workforce that encompasses. Those offices are located in Fresno, Salinas, Bakersfield, and Oxnard. All these offices are equipped to support and provide immigration services to California community college students, faculty, and staff. All the services are staffed by staff attorneys or BIA accredited representatives. We also process vetting cases to ensure quality. Services are being rendered to every member of our community, right? Just because members of the community might not be rich members does not mean they don't deserve the same quality services as other people. All our services are confidential. We're subject to the same ethical obligations that fall under the attorney-client relationship. So encompasses everyone who contacts our office with the intention of being a client. So even though we might be able to help you with a specific case, everyone will still receive a consultation. We will still vet your case completely. And anytime you're contacting us with that aim, your information is confidential. And we do go through great lengths to maintain that. There is some exception if you grant us permission to a family member. However, that's something that we are also very careful of explaining to our potential clients. And really, it's only if you desire that to help you further your case. So the services are free. There is no cost for the services we provide. However, I do want to note that the grant does not cover the fees that USCIS, or the courts may charge, right? There are unfortunately many fees that come with some forms of relief. For example, DACA renewals, right? Folks are familiar with that. We at times do have support and do at this time monetary support for DACA renewals, but that's on, as those funds become available. So generally we cannot guarantee that, but from time to time, as it is currently at this time, we do have funds for DACA renewals if you qualify based on your income. Our services are comprehensive. We do Know Your Rights presentations, which you are a part of now, to application workshops, thorough individual consultations. We have auxiliary services like background checks, right? We want to vet your criminal record if there is any contact with ICE or any law enforcement agency to vet how it might affect you or to troubleshoot that contact. We do freedom of information requests and the analysis that goes along with that. That involves basically your immigration file, as well as any contacts with immigration law enforcement contacts. Again, we do DACA renewals and other many popular forms of relief, naturalization applications, family petitions, U visa applications, special immigrant juvenile status, and other many forms. This is just to give you an example. There's immigration is a complex field, and it has all these offshoots with waivers, etc. We will try to provide you the service that helps you in your immigration case. There are some exceptions, but those really apply to a small number of folks, and really depends on the timing of your case, right? So if your case has been advancing for years and you have a deadline looming in the next, week or so, we might not be able to help you, not so much because of the form of relief, but just because of the timing. So it is very important immigration help as soon as you can do so. And now this service is available and to all students, faculty, and staff of a California community college. How can you make an appointment? There are regular appointments happening for partnering campuses. We have 16 schools that we're partnering throughout these 4 regions. However, currently our services are primarily remote means due to COVID-19 originally, and we do hope one day to return to be physically on campus, and we would have regular office hours on recurring days of the month. However, right now those appointments are being conducted virtually. However, you do not need to be part of campus to get services. You can be part of any California community college and outreach us for support. There is an online appointment portal that allows the student and staff to make an appointment directly with us. It is very self-explanatory. It walks you through it. We just need some basic contact information to secure your appointment, and it is an automated system. It gives you a confirmation and next steps. And then we follow up with you for, currently we're doing them and phone the appointments. We are also being flexible to the needs of the community. We understand everyone has access to internet, or it's limited, or folks are sharing, right? We're all in this different safety at home or stay at home orders. So we are being more flexible than usual in terms of trying to schedule appointments outside of business hours. We only ask that you also understand there are some limitations to that, but generally, once you make contact with us, we can follow up and be flexible to meet you on a Saturday or on, for example, an evening. And I've provided the link there for folks to use. Also, if you have a problem though with the portal, like I said, because you have limited internet access, or you're not one of the partnering campuses, you can call our local offices. Although our offices are physically closed at this time due to the public, again, due to COVID-19, our staff is working home and assisting callers and clients generally. So the calls are live. People are answering the phone calls or returning the phone calls should you leave a voicemail, which we do encourage you to do in a manner. So please do contact us for further information or to schedule your consultation. As Sarah said, it is really, really important that we speak with you one-on-one. Immigration is very complicated, and in order to address really your specific case, we need to do a thorough consultation, and we can take it from there. However, I did want to note that, again, although we are open for business, things are not as they would be before COVID-19. However, we are completing applications. There just might be a tad of a delay in application depending on the deadlines involved. However, that's really not been an issue, and we've been generally able to serve the community and hope to hear from you.
Sophia, and we do have a question.
Yes, I do see about our services and whether we can help people who speak Hmong. We actually will have translation services. We're using a program where we have live interpreters. We do ask that you let us know if you need translation services. However, the portal asks you for that information, or you can basically call and literally just say that you, through a family member, need those services. Now, we know that that's not ideal, and so we wouldn't take any information that is confidential at that time. We would just note that you need translation services and get the interpreter on the line for you. And that goes for any of the major languages. We're also additionally contracting with one organization to support us with more rare indigenous languages, but we do plan to equip to for you in any translation needs the community may have. So currently we are in the midst of translating our information. Currently it is in English and Spanish. However, we are to translate it into Hmong and other languages we are basically receiving demand for. So we do want to hear from the community if there's already a language that you anticipate we will need, just because of the community profile you work with, or about, or you yourself need. You can let us know during this presentation, or if you want to follow up with us, we'd appreciate it. Perfect, thank you so much. We are noting that we want to have information in Hmong and Punjabi. We do have quite a bit of community information and that we make available. For example, we have DACA checklist that we make available to the community. We have naturalization preparation forms, and these are handouts and worksheets that we make available so the community can start working on their case and to facilitate their appointments with their providers. So we definitely will work on that. Is there any other questions based on the material provided today? We do urge people, like I said, if they have information about a specific case or their specific situation or a specific student or family member, to please contact us. One thing to know is that the Community Colleges Immigration Services Initiative unfortunately does not cover this for family members. It really is targeting, again, that community college community. However, as some of you will know, immigration is very complicated, and at times can only help the student if we help mom or dad or son or daughter first. So there are some forms of relief where it will, because we can do it in one step, or the time frame involved is covered by this grant and will bring some kind of benefit, again, for a direct family member. Other forms of relief, unfortunately, are more attenuated or take a long time to process, that go through another family member and might not be able to do. However, the UFW Foundation is a comprehensive immigration organization and have other grants. And so we do many times refer family members of community college students and staff to ourselves, right? We just ask us through the main office, or we schedule a follow-up appointment with that family member. And then we see if they are eligible for services through our other programs, which mostly involve people who are low income and a California resident. And again, when I say resident, it doesn't mean in any kind of lawful status, right? It means a California resident in the sense this is their main habitual place of living, right? Over time, and not tied any way whatsoever to an immigration status.
Sophia, if I can add something.
Yes, of course.
So me as the outreach coordinator for our Fresno office, I would also like to let our participants know that if in any moment you would like this presentation at your church, with your community, please feel free to call the office. I'm in the Fresno office. My name is Linda Duran, and we can coordinate and help each other out by presenting this to your community. And as a volunteer, you can help me translate this in your language. We can work together. We have done this in the past. And in Hmong, we've done this in the past in Hmong, in Madera. So if any of you would like this for your community, like I said, please contact me and we can coordinate a date where we can provide this material for your community.
Thank you, Linda, for that. And we do look forward to serving you and members of the community directly with your legal needs as well as presentation needs. We are rolling out a virtual system of presentations, correct, Linda? So if you have ideas,
yes,
by all means, share them with us. And we also do look forward to a time when, you know, we will be trying to find a healthy way to get back to serving people in person, but are just trying to be safe to the general community and our staff. But we're finding new ways of serving members out there. Also, if somebody does have an emergency, we do ask that you call our office. It is the fastest way for us to get a hold of you. Although the portal is live and active and taking appointments, it does happen on a scheduled time frame. And so if you do have an emergency, please call our office. That way we can most likely get to you sooner. Also, one just last note I wanted to make, that although USCIS has some deadlines and has canceled some appointments itself, in the sense that certain their offices are currently closed, for the most part, immigration deadlines continue. And so for this reason, we want to make people aware that we understand, although it might be a hardship, to not forget about their legal needs, because we would hate for somebody to suffer some kind of deadline and be exposed in some way, especially now that there are these free services. And for the most part, like I said, we've been able to service the community. So please pass that message on to community members, friends, and family, that it is always best to get a consultation. We can speak with you depending on your needs. We can break it up into 2 conversations. It normally only takes us about an hour to really truly vet, and then we take it from there in terms of the research. And for the DACA renewals, we're being very flexible. We're trying to get as many DACA renewals out the door, given the looming Supreme Court decision, that unfortunately we do not expect it to be a positive one, right? We don't know exactly what it will entail, what hopefully worst case some kind of compromise, but we do expect that it will have some impact. And so we have at other times noticed that these decisions carry some kind of deadline or carry some kind of caveat, like if you submitted your application by X day, it brings you X relief. So please contact us, especially for DACA renewal purposes. And then I see. Actually, we've been able to help people on a rolling basis pretty regularly, especially if you call us directly. There has been a little bit more delay with our portal, only because in some areas it has been successful and people are signing up, but in other areas the calendar is completely open. which I believe is in the case of Merced, Modesto. So for the most part, people are freely able to make appointments, and people who are contacting us are able to get an appointment in a fairly quick turnaround, a matter of, you know, maybe 2 or 3 days at most. If there's especially a DACA issue, we are asking for them to contact us. We also have partnered with certain, fairly new, with certain campuses to provide DACA renewal workshops. Now, mind you, those workshops are virtual, but we now have done it and can walk other campuses through that. And it, on the end of the campuses, it really is little work. It really is just putting announcements out there in the community. So thank you folks so much. Obviously, if you have ongoing questions, please contact us. We appreciate you for joining us today and hope you're able to pass on this information to other members of the community. And us preparing for today, we noted some successful cases where community members were able to enforce their rights to, you know, have a consultation after not doing so over years, and learn that they actually were eligible for a rare form of relief that, you know, is not maybe out there in the popular culture, and, you know, get relief after 20 or so years of being in this country, or to avoid deportation. There's always one story I'll keep in mind of an older monolingual Spanish speaker lady, a person who said, "Am I free to go?" And this was an immigration officer, and "Am I free to go?" And unless you say more to them that indicates you are a citizen, you know, there's a charge of racial profiling, and most officers will stay away from people who actually know their rights. You know, it causes more than it's worth. And so let's hope everyone's out there equipped to enforce those rights. And we can discuss also about getting those famous red cards to different campuses. Currently, right now, it would be a little bit more clunky just because, again, we are working remote, but those cards are very important, and we can still work to get that information to folks. So any other lasting comments, Sara or Linda?
Nothing for me, Sophia. I just want to thank all the participants for joining on and being with us this morning.
Same on my end, Sophia. Thank you to everybody. Please contact our offices if you have any further questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, folks.